Well, hello everyone. It is time for a cancer check-in. It is May of 2026, and I just had my cancer appointment on Monday, and I didn't do one in March.
Right.
So I think the last one I did was in January. So it's time for a check-in, and there's a lot to talk about. I kind of asked a lot of questions during this appointment, and we have a lot of stuff going on also. So it's been very busy, very exciting, but a lot of stuff to talk about. So the first thing I want to say is the intent of this video from my perspective is to sort of talk about what's going on so I can let my family and friends know. I have a lot of people messaging me and reaching out to me and asking how it went and stuff like that. And it's just a lot going on. So I just want to do this video to kind of let my friends know, just so they have an idea of what's happening, and then also is to kind of provide some sort of insight to if someone else is going through something like this, or maybe a caregiver is dealing with someone going through this sort of situation. That kind of want to give my experiences so people can have an idea of what I went through or whatever, just to provide some sort of guidance or feedback or whatever. So I had my appointment on Monday. Actually, on Sunday, which was Mother's Day of 2026, I went to did my CT scan with my mother and took her out to dinner for Mother's Day and stuff like that. And then, I should also introduce Trisha.
I'm sure everybody knows me already.
Doing all this talking, I didn't
From Facebook.
not even acknowledging that you're here. So we'll talk more about what Trisha and I are up to after. But yeah, so Mother's Day went in, did my CT scans, and on Monday morning went in, did my blood work, and met with the doctor. And the sad news is my doctor, Dr. Mark, who is retiring this year. So that was my last appointment with him. He literally saved my life. I mean, he really did. Like, it was incredible. I went from not knowing what was going on, people just taking forever to get back to me on, blood work, and like, yeah, you got stage 4 cancer and you got 6 months left to live, but we're going to run these tests, and that'll be a couple weeks, and then it'll be in a couple weeks for a doctor's visit and all this stuff, and it was taking forever. And I called Dana-Farber, and they had me in within days. And my doctor, Dr. Marcoux, was amazing. He's one of the most amazing doctors I've ever had. So I'm like sad that he's going to be retiring, but I'm also very grateful that I got to spend some time with him.
How long was he there?
He's probably, I think he said he's been practicing 40 years, but I don't know how long he's been with Dana-Farber, but he's been doing it forever. So he was just such a great guy. You got to meet him.
Yes, he was
Yeah, in March, right? Yeah, whatever it was.
January.
January, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, so I'll have a new doctor coming up on my next visit. So that's the sad part. Was I'm sad to see him go, but I wish him the best. So my blood work and my CT scans came out great. Everything looks like it's still progressing the way we want it to be. It's shrinking down the cancer. So essentially, the cancer, I had cancer all through my left lung, and that's all shrunk down to just scar tissue. So I have a lot of scar tissue, and I think it said I have scar tissue in some of the airways or something like that. So I still have a lot of breathing related issues, but thank God it's just scar tissue now. It's not cancer there. I do have cancer in my bones still, and this medication is, the way he explained it to me is it's in a couple spots in my bones, like in my hip and in my back and stuff like that. And he explained that what's happening right now is, or over time, what's going to happen is the cancer that's in my bone eventually sort of dies off, hopefully. That's the way it's going. It's supposed to die off, and then the bone sort of regrows over that. So that's the way things are looking, which is awesome. The sad thing is I'm stage 4, which means I will never be cancer free. I'll have to do this for the rest of my life. I will be doing medications every day for the rest of my life. I will be visiting, Dana-Farber every X amount of months, whatever that time period will be for the rest of my life. But the good news is I could still have a very long, normal life. It's just I have to deal with, the going to the doctors more often. That's it. It's a small price to pay for, having a somewhat normal life. The other thing I realized is I found out that when I was diagnosed with this, and I went on this special trial, I was like patient number 500 something, maybe 600 or something like that in the world. And I just found out that the normal process for this is patients will have to get on this trial that I'm on. You have to be on another trial that's failing. So you have to be on another trial or another drug. And then if that doesn't really work, or if you have a hard time with the side effects, you try this drug. That's the normal progression for getting to this drug. However, for me, they put me straight on to it, which is very, very rare. I guess there's only 40 something people that have done that, and I'm one of 40 something people. So that's pretty crazy in the world. So that's pretty crazy. So I'm honored to be providing feedback on this stuff for people to be using this in the future. So that's pretty exciting, I guess.
Front line.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of scary, but also exciting. The other thing that I asked my doctor about, I said, well, I have some side effects. What happens if I stop taking the drug? And he said that if you stop taking the drugs, within 2 weeks, your cancer could start regrowth, which is kind of scary. Mm-hmm. But he also said once you start taking the medication again, it responds quickly and starts shrinking again. So that's interesting, because there are people, and I had to do this as well, there are people that have to hold off the drug for a week or two based on side effects, or I had liver numbers that went really high, so we had to stop the drug, and then they came back down, and I had to start the drug again. But that's kind of weird that, it's kind of scary that after 2 weeks the cancer can start growing back, but treatment's doing amazing, so that's awesome. I've been having, throughout this, I've been having some side effects. It's definitely not as much as the typical cancer medication side effects. My side effects have been pretty mild. I mean, making a fist, my hands were stiff. That's happened like 6 months into taking this drug. My hands are, both hands are like that, and I have some sort of circulation thing happening that affects other things as well. But that's one. I got foggy brain fog. I get really fatigued all the time. I have some GI issues, but I had GI issues prior to this, so I don't know if that's just because I need to kind of get it figured out, or if this medication is causing more GI related issues. The thing that frustrates me with the GI stuff is I went to the doctor and they're like, take a test and we'll see if this, is like a SIBO, is that what it's called? Or celiac or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Type of stuff. And we did that, and it says, yeah, I have a little bit of something there. And then I'm like, all right, so what can I test? Is like a histamine intolerance or food intolerance or other types of tests? And they're like, well, they really don't think there's a lot of, there could be a lot of false positives, so we really don't do that. So we're just going to give you prescriptions to bring down your symptoms and not really figure out what the problem is. So I think we're going to try to find maybe a natural path or a holistic path, a doctor, to see if we can get better testing for GI stuff. But, that's just one of the things we're going through. The other thing, there's a couple other things that I don't know if you want to chime in on. One is I feel like I'm sort of in a pre-diabetic stage. My blood work is pretty good. My glucose is just a little bit high. A1C was just a little bit high, but I feel like the symptoms I'm having is very, very pre-diabetic, but my blood work is not really showing that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's something from this medication or not. So I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. But we need to get my weight. So the problem is I went from weighing 175, 179 at the lowest part of my cancer to I shot up to like 225 or something like that within like a couple months after, because I wasn't moving and the medication started working and my body's hungry and all that stuff. So I think that may be a factor, and that's something that I hear a lot of other people have a hard time with weight gain and stuff like that. I mean, we're starting to get out and exercise, and Trisha's amazing about cooking and being, she's very disciplined and stuff like that. So it's amazing having someone like her help me through this. You're amazing. But yeah, so pre-diabetics, I don't know, but if someone else is going through this, that might be something to look into. There's a huge financial impact. So here's the reality of this: cancer is expensive. On the first year, I spent $17,000 just in medical stuff, and it's crazy. And this year, I mean, I'm already in my first visit. I wiped out my deductible on my first visit, which is like $3,000 or whatever. And I'm on my third visit. This year I'm at $6,000 or whatever, just out of pocket stuff. So this is very expensive, unfortunately. So just keep that in mind. If you're going through this, you're gonna definitely want to keep an eye on your scans and stuff like that, and talk to the insurance companies, because sometimes they get put in incorrectly, and I had to argue and fight to get it put in correctly to fix some stuff. But anyways, the other thing that I've been noticing is I've been going through a lot of mood swings sort of stuff. And one of the things I noticed for me was when this all started, I went into survival mode, just trying to stay alive and do what I can to get this resolved. As soon as we found out this was a thing, I was like, all right, what do I got to do? How do I fight this? And I was in survival mode. And then once I got comfortable and relaxed and my body started functioning like normal again, I kind of went into this, I don't know, emotional impact.
Like
I don't know.
emotional symptoms, or
Yeah. Yeah, and I just started dealing with it's like and I go to therapy. If you're doing cancer, I highly recommend therapy. But for me, it was like there's a lot of like paranoia of I'm gonna lose all this. We have an amazing relationship, and I'm like I get this like
sadness.
yeah, and it's like this like I finally am in a really great place, and I have this dread of cancer, dying, and all that stuff sort of hanging over me. And again, that's something that therapy is really helpful for and stuff like that. But I'm just mentioning this for other people going through this, that it is definitely an emotional roller coaster.
Well, yeah, but you got to give yourself some grace, because I mean, you've gone through a year and a half, which is not a
Yep.
lot of time,
Right.
and being told you have 6 months to live, to now being pretty healthy and cancer is inactive,
Yep.
and at the same time your life is blossoming.
Yep.
And I think it's the normal reactions to be like, oh my God, what
Yep.
if,
Yep. Yeah, so that was a lot of adjustment, and it went from probably the worst part of my life, the worst time of my life, to actually now the most amazing time of my life.
And very quickly.
Yeah, and in a short period of time, definitely. But adding to that, the great side of things is I have this awesome new job, which is really, really cool. I work for I work for a place called Maple Hill in Hollowell, and it's this awesome. We're converting it to a wellness center. It's so cool. I have this awesome job with great people. I love everyone I work with, and it's really fun.
And what do you do?
And what do? I do videos and photos and all that fun stuff. I do all the media sort of stuff. It's a lot of fun. And then, even better than that, is Trisha and I are getting married, which is insane. It's just like
In August.
In August, we are like two peas in a pod. Like we've been sort of online friends for years, and it's just like all of a sudden we got to be together, and it was just like magic. So it's pretty crazy. So that's really exciting. So awesome things are coming. I'm really, really excited for all of everything. This summer is going to be pretty crazy. We have a lot going on. But anyway, so that's what's happening. I just wanted to kind of do a sort of check-in, and introduce Trisha for anyone watching these videos or anything like that. My next video, so I graduated to every 3 months now. So my next scan is in 3 months from now, whatever it is. Yeah, August.
Beginning of August.
Yeah, and then so I do a CT scan on every visit, so that's going to be every 3 months, and then an MRI every other visit. So like that'll be like twice a year or something like that for the brain. I don't know. Anything else? Did I forget anything?
I think you've touched upon
I
everything.
don't know. I was going fast, so I'm trying to remember everything, and
We're trying to keep it shorter
I
so
know.
we can keep the audience.
I know. I'm kind of trying to make these. I tend to mumble and just go off on tangents and stuff like that. So Trisha's like, you got to kind of stay focused. So she's helping me do that. So that's awesome. Anyways, Trisha and I are going to be working on a lot of fun stuff this summer. Maybe a lot of music. Who knows? We have a lot of stuff we're working on just as a family and stuff like that. So we're excited for our big day. We're excited for our hobbies. We have a lot of hobbies in common. So music and a bunch of other stuff. So anyways, I am now rambling. So let's kind of wrap this up. The next one will be in August. I will probably will do a video. We'll see where we are with everything, and we will check in as we get new information about our, scans and stuff like that. I feel like there was something else I was gonna say, but I can't remember. Well, if you want to watch any of these videos, I've been doing videos after almost every visit. And you can go to my website, acoustifiedmedia.com/cancer. You can watch all the previous videos and all the socials, YouTube, and all that stuff. We'll post them there. And then Trish and I I think we're going to maybe play around with doing some sort of video TikTok podcast type thing where we can dive in deep in some of these topics. And
Yeah.
and you have a lot of topics you want to talk about because you have
From my perspective too, know.
Yeah, and you have a lot of good background as well from your previous or what you do for work and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll do something like that. So maybe in the future that'll pop up pretty soon. And that's it I just want to say thank you to everyone for being super kind and all the nice comments and messages and reaching out and support. Yeah, I can't thank everyone enough. Things are just gone from being really low to being really high, and it's really exciting. So we are excited for what's next, and I think we'll just leave it there.
All right.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.